Real Country 1430 AM and 107.3 FM WRDN. On this Tuesday morning, I'm Brian Winnekins. We continue our spotlight on Val-O-Mo Farms, just outside of Eau Gallie all this week with the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin. Again, thank you to Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin for supporting our monthly spotlights. And now we're with Jess Wines-Earl, and we're going to talk a little bit about the cows here and some of the things the farm does with their cows to care for them. And Jess, thank you for joining us today. Well, now my little backstory, my daughter used to work on the farm as a calf feeder, but the farm has, you kind of do it a little bit different with your calves. Yes, you start them off here, but then you actually have them raised off farm?
Yes. Yeah, they're here for about a week, and then they're raised up in Barron. They come and pick them up once a week. If I don't happen to make the trip myself to bring big ones back here, but yeah, they're raised off the farm.
And part of that is one, they get specialized kind of care, quote unquote, or because you have so many other things you're dealing with too, that this is better for the calves.
Yeah, that's true. As the farm was growing, our calf barn wasn't big enough, so it's either had to spend several $100,000 on a new building or buy a whole bunch of huts and raise them outside, and that don't sound fun in January. So we gave it a try, and we've been doing that for several years, and it's been working well.
And where you ship them, from what I understand, before that calf even gets to the location in Barron, that location, each calf gets their own sterilized hut. There's certain milk replacers that you use from there here on the farm, at least in the beginning. And there's a lot of coordination between Val-O-Mo and the calf raiser.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they got their own vaccination protocols up there. We do everything we can for them here before they leave, get them a gallon and a half of colostrum in them on the farm before they leave. And if they don't have that, they don't go. They'll wait till the next week. So getting good colostrum in them is really important, and getting them off to a good start in pale train, so when they get up to the bigger farm up there where there's several thousand of them, they're already drinking out of a bucket and they're ready to rip.
And really, it's for the health and safety of the calves, because, again, you mentioned that good start. If you don't get a good start, you don't have a good cow, and that hurts on the other end of this.
Yeah, it's true. Yep, you're kind of molding that animal right from the day it was born.
Now, the farm is part of the farm program. Tell us, what's the farm program for those that are not familiar with it?
Oh, it's a program that our creamery got us involved in that provides safety videos and educational videos, and every year we sit down with each employee and they get to pick a different video, and whether it's animal husbandry or safety, whatever we decide to choose for the year, and continue an education, I guess, for these guys.
And this is designed for the health of all of the cattle and the sustainability of the herd, or what was the reason behind it?
It's just to make a safe environment for the employees and the animals, I guess.
Talking with Jess Wines-Earl this morning with Val-O-Mo Dairy as we spotlight the Val-O-Mo Farms all this week with Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin. Now, for the older cows, I noticed, it's hard to see in the video, but we are right in front of the milk parlor. This milk parlor, do you milk 3 times a day, or is it around the clock?
Yes, it's 3 times a day milking. There's only an hour break in between shifts, so we're pretty well maxed out.
And how many cows do you milk on average every day?
Like 675.
Okay. And what are some of the things? Now, these cows, this is totally different from my great uncle's farm, I will tell you right now. They walk in, but the way the parlor is, it's easy for the employees to milk the cows, and it seems like the cows are a little bit, they seem pretty content in there, even though they have to back in.
Yeah, they come in and then they take a right-hand turn, and they stand with their butts towards the where the guy's working, or so that he has access to both rear teats, and you throw the milker on after you wash and prep them, and yeah.
So what are some of the things they have to do to wash and prep that before they put on that first milker?
The cow comes in. If the area below the cow is dirty, they spray that to clean that area. They strip each teat to make sure there's no mastitis or anything like that. Then they dip them, and then they come back through and they wipe them with a cloth towel. And then they have a certain amount of time while that all evolves so that the cow can let her milk down, and then you put the milk around. Then the unit automatically comes off when she's done.
Now, the other big thing with this, that when I've been in there, and it seems like this is like this at any dairy farm. Boy, you guys do a lot of cleaning, all the clean. I think you do more cleaning than milking.
Yeah, it seems. Yeah, you got to keep it clean. The dairy's always testing for plate counts, LPCs, and if something's off, they'll let you know right away, and you got to figure out where it's coming from. So yeah, you got to keep things clean. Otherwise, if you got dirty units too, your calves will get sick, and so that ain't good. So you got to always got to have clean buckets, clean pipelines, tanks, all the filters and whatnot, so that you can have healthy animals for the calves' sake and good product going out the driveway.
And so now we have the cows. Okay, those are the milkers, but then you have dry cows. How long is it milking that you have here at the farm before it becomes, you move it over to the dry cow barn, and why do you do that? Why do you explain that timeline?
Well, the cow has her calf, and then she's bred back. If she don't get bred back, she'll find a future in another area. But yeah, once they're confirmed pregnant, then they go on a 45-day. So they got their due date, and then they get a 45-day vacation prior to that due date. So then they go to another lot, lay on a clean sand-bedded free stall, and get to eat and relax for 45 days before she has that calf and gets put back to work.
How often do you have to change that bedding? Do you do that every day?
We scrape and clean the barn every day and rake the stalls, make sure they're clean every day. But it's bedded either once or twice a week, whatever it needs.
Now you mentioned, we were talking about the hutches, individual hutches in the middle of January. And up here it can get to be pretty cold. How do you keep in the barns? How do you keep the cattle warm in the winter, but cooler in the summer, because it can get pretty hot out here too in the summer? So how do you to regulate that?
We got ceiling fans above the calf stalls, keep them bedded. We keep air moving through there so the flies don't pester them, and then give them a soft, clean place to lay, and then it don't seem to be an issue.
And then that air movement even helps in the wintertime too?
Yeah, it keeps. We don't run the ceiling fans in the winter in that barn. We got a tunnel ventilation to bring. If it's not below zero, we'll bring outside air in, so that ain't a stale air in there. So.
And for the health of the herd, do you have a veterinarian? Do you work with a veterinarian like once a week, once a month, or how do you do that?
Yeah, herd checks are done once a week. Yeah, I look over the cows every morning and take care of the fresh cows, make sure nobody looks sick and whatnot. And if we do have a question that we can't figure out on our own, we'll call the vet or have them come down and check her out.
We were talking with Jess Weinzierl this morning with Val-O-Mo Farms, and tomorrow we're going to be talking with his brother Ted about some of the things they do. He works more on the crop side, and so we're going to talk with Ted about their crops, their land, the manure, how they manage that. How they recycle water, too, is another issue we're going to chat about here this week as well. There's a lot of things that Val-O-Mo Farms does here and that they've put a lot of money into to help protect the environment and improve it, actually, as well. And we're going to find out more with Ted about that here coming up starting tomorrow as we highlight Val-O-Mo Farms with Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin. I'm Brian Winnikins on WRDN.